My rings, I gotta hit the button here. There we go. My rings fit, my feet aren't hurting all the time. And I just like, it doesn't hurt to walk and move. I don't know how else to explain it. So that is something for me that has been very life-changing.
That's awesome. Danielle, will you share what products you started with, what products you really like helped?
Absolutely. So I was kind of a hot mess express when I started. I pretty much started for the joint pain, but the more I shared about how I was feeling, I realized very quickly I had a lot more going on, like constant exhaustion, just feeling fatigued all the time, just never having energy, no matter how much I slept, just kind of all those things that you chalk up to being a mom with little kids or someone that works a lot. And so I started with the Triplex, which is our pink drink, and then really two awesome, great products that help really heal your gut. That's really what they do, a great probiotic and magnesium supplement. So I started with those three, and then I did add Ease, and Ease is that product that is natural and helps with inflammation, or specifically helped me the most with inflammation. So what I noticed quickly with those four products paired together is that I was having more energy throughout the day. I wasn't grabbing pop constantly. Not only was I waking up feeling more energized, I was sleeping more soundly, if that makes sense. So like, I just actually felt like I was sleeping when I was sleeping. Energy improved, mood improved. And then with all of that, it's just kind of a natural spiral. Like you crave healthier things, you have more energy to work out and actually like get your heart rate up more than just that baseline because you have to work out. So that is what I started with.
That's awesome. And I totally feel that too. When I got started, I started on the Triplex too. You'll hear that a lot tonight. And if someone invited you here, like ask them, what is the Triplex? Because that's what a lot of us start with. And it's awesome. It's kind of our cornerstone gut health system. But I felt the same way. Like all of a sudden I was sleeping deeper. I didn't even know I wasn't sleeping well before. Like my tummy felt better, like all of these things. And I was able, like I had more energy. So I was walking more, I was doing more things. I was up getting more exercise. Like I wasn't, my sugar cravings were gone. So I wasn't reaching for the yucky food, like all of those healthy, like snowball effect. Anyone else want to unmute? Like, what's Plexus helped you with? What products did you take? Why do you love it? What do you love about Plexus?
So I'll jump in. I started also on Triplex, and I started because I didn't have enough energy like to do anything. I came home from teaching all day and was in a recliner, and that was it. Like that was as far as I was going. So I didn't have any energy. And so I started the Triplex because of that specifically, and ended up seeing a jump in my energy to where I was able to come home and cook dinner and do the things. And in turn, like go exercise. Now I go to the gym every morning at 5 a.m. And that was never like, you wouldn't have ever caught me doing that. And also I saw a lot of inflammation loss. So I look like I've had tons of weight loss. I have lost like 20-ish pounds or whatever through healing my gut and not really and eating cleaner because I felt better. And it's like you said, Liz, it's like a snowball effect. Like you're feeling better, so you make better choices. But the inflammation loss is what it like killed me. Like I was shocked. I've lost like 13 inches off my waist or more. And I've lost a lot. Like you could see in my face after a couple weeks, like you could just see the inflammation start just going away. And I had never realized that that was a huge struggle for my body. And that's why I was aching and in pain and, that kind of thing. And so for me, inflammation loss is huge. It's life-changing for me, along with having energy. So.
Okay, that is so awesome, Sarah Jo. Thank you. What products did you take, or what did you start with?
I started with Triplex, and then I started adding in Active with my Perks points. And then since then I've added in Ease and a few other things as well. But my main start was Triplex.
Awesome. Yeah, the Perks points are amazing, by the way. Plexus, when you first order it, sets you up with a subscription order, which is really nice because it's one less thing that you have to think about. So you're not going to run out of anything. Like, it just comes and you don't have to think about it. And it's wonderful. And when you keep that subscription on, you earn perks points, and you can use those perk points to try new products for free. And it's an awesome way to do it. I save mine up and I use them for the collagen and the skincare, but Active is another great one for the perks points. Anyone else want to share something you love about Plexus, something it's helped you with?
So
Okay.
oh,
No, go ahead.
Oh.
All right, I'll listen.
mine's real short. Aside from what some of the other gals said about like the sleep, and like downsizing cravings of crappy foods, I used to drink Mountain Dew, like cans of Mountain Dew, like I would say between 3 and 5 cans of Mountain Dew a day, and it wouldn't even faze me. It was just, I craved that. And I did break, my husband broke me, but I was at 2.5 years with no soda at all, because that craving was just gone. But a big thing for me was that before starting Plexus, like this might be TMI, but once you start talking Plexus, you just start talking poop because you start talking about your gut. I thought it was normal to have a bowel movement 1 or 2 times a week because that's all I had ever known. And then I started learning more about Plexus, and I was like, oh, that's supposed to be 1 to 2 times, if not 3 a day. So the BioCleanse has been great for me, especially when you have your water intake. And both my kids struggle with constipation too. So my 5-year-old and 9-year-old both take BioCleanse every night as well as a ProBio 5. And we can definitely tell when we don't get either of those, because things start backing up and our sleep is not nearly as good. So that's the big win for our family.
Awesome. Holly, let's hear it. What do you love about Plexus? What's it helped you with?
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to jump on and interrupt if you had any questions. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the aspect of what you love about Plexus. And I think this is really interesting because I don't think a lot of people really think about this when they think of like a gut health supplement. But y'all, I love Plexus for the community. I'm sorry, I'm doing it by myself tonight, so all my kids are in there. I tried to shut the door, so I'm sorry if y'all can hear that noise. I got 5 kids, 5 boys, 7 and under. But y'all, the community is precious. Just a little backstory about me. I was in foster care whenever I was 11. And that was the first time I ever experienced really being around people, because I was always really hard for me to get acquainted with people and have like a group of friends. And so I really struggle with that through middle school, through high school. And I always felt burdened, like that's just not something that I'm going to have, but it's been a craving in my heart. Like I always prayed for it. Like I want community. I want these things that these people say that they have, that they can just call and have people that they love on them and they're there for them and they encourage them. And it made me sad because I thought maybe that's just not for me. Like it's just not going to happen. Some people are introverts and I'm very much like that. Like I love people, but I'm so scared to get out of that comfort zone to get that relationship. And so whenever I got into Plexus and I started doing the business, I got invited to these calls into Plexus community groups. And like, I was just floored by how genuine people were about wanting to help one another and praying for one another. Like, I didn't think a big deal about the calls because I just thought, whatever, it's just a call. They're just going to talk the products, like yada, yada, yada. And then I get on the call and I'm like, they just prayed on a call. Like these people love others, like they're genuine and they want that. And so I just think it's such a big blessing that there actually is that community here in Plexus. And that's something that I don't think most people realize because it's a gut health company, like for supplements. So you wouldn't think we're really building relationships. So I think that's precious. So just wanted to touch on that.
I love that. That is so awesome. And I totally agree. Like your story just brought me to tears. I didn't actually know that you were in foster care, Holly. That's really special. And so what we are sharing matters, guys. If you didn't already know that, sharing these products matters. If you didn't already know that in the last 11 minutes for people's health, it matters for people's mental health, for community, for all of these things. And that's really, really special. And I know that that's everyone on this team's heart. If you were invited here, like they genuinely want to help you. And so that was really cool. So thank you for sharing that with us, Holly. That's really special. If you're someone who's lost weight with Plexus, and if you want to keep answering that question why you love Plexus, I could listen to that all night. So we can do that too. But if you've lost weight with Plexus, will you share a little bit about that? Maybe like that journey, timing wise. We all know this isn't like a quick fix miracle, drop 20 pounds in a week, because that doesn't work. Been there, done that, right? Casey Cox, do you want to share a little bit about weight loss with us?
Yes, so I actually started on the products for energy because I was exhausted like Sarah Jo, but I was really surprised that as my gut started getting lined out, that I just like the weight just started basically like disintegrating. Now I was eating really healthy and drinking plenty of water, but I had been doing that before and the weight wasn't budging. And so in about 9 months, I lost 35 pounds. And I also I used Triplex plus Ease because I have some inflammation issues, and that was super helpful. And in that same time period, I also earned Leaders Retreat, which was really, really special because my husband and I had never got to go on a honeymoon. And so we kind of joked and dubbed that our Plexus honeymoon because we got to travel to Florida on Plexus's dime and stay in the Gaylord and have time together. And then all, with our Plexus friends too. And it was super special. And I'm working really hard right now to try to earn that again because it was really great. And we would have never got to do that. And travel isn't something that's really in our budget otherwise. And so I know lots of people get to travel with Plexus, and it's probably my favorite non-health perk.
I love that. And Plexus takes us on bougie trips, you guys, like bougier than I traveled, at least. I don't know, like so fun. If you're not paying attention to the chat, you should, because there's lots of fun things in there that people are sharing too. Anyone else lost weight with Plexus? I want to share a little bit about that journey. 35 pounds in 9 months is incredible, Casey. And like you said, it's like sustainable because you did it in a healthy way and you were feeling better and more energy. Rachel Allen, do you want to share a little bit with us?
Yes, I just unmuted then to share too. So first of all, on the trips, because I just got off of Leaders Retreat, off of the cruise, and bougie is definitely the word to describe how Plexus does their trips because it's just amazing. But talking about the weight loss part, so I started Plexus just because I had colon cancer. And all I wanted was probiotics. I knew that probiotics and prebiotics were important. So I kind of started Plexus with no expectations of anything. I just wanted to do some gut health stuff. But after a couple of weeks on the triplex, I noticed that my face was slimming down. And I was like, hey, maybe I'll get this fun little perk of weight loss too. So I had gained about 30 pounds with a hysterectomy. Whenever they put you on hormone replacements after that, it tends to pack on the pounds. And I had gained 30 pounds and could not shake it for anything at all. But after about 6 months on triplex, I had lost 20 of those 30 pounds, even though I'd been working really hard for the last 2 years before that and got nothing would budge them at all. And then after that 6 pounds or 6 months, I added on Ease and also Metaburn. And with that, I'm up to 30 pounds off now. So I've lost every single pound that I put on with my hysterectomy. And I feel like a lot of that was without me making any changes. I'm not a pro like Sarah. I don't get up and go to the gym at 5 a.m. However, it does make me I crave more water. So I drink more water. And I don't crave sweets and sugar. So I don't sit there after my kids go to bed and eat tons and tons of candy because I just don't really even want it. So it just kind of took away the bad habits so that I could naturally lose the weight and maintain it. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and I've maintained that weight loss throughout.
Okay, this is so cool, you guys. This is like my favorite call ever. This is fun. Naomi said in the chat that not much weight, only 15 pounds, but she's gone from a size 12 to a size 6. Like, that's incredible. Like, that's what working on your gut health and reducing overall just like inflammation in your body can do for you. And that's so cool. Michaela's lost 10 to 15 pounds, but looked like she lost 30 to 35. Yeah. Like, crazy cool. Anyone else want to share about that on mute?
Hey, Liz, can I piggyback about what you just said about, okay, so one of the things that I read, I want to say a couple days ago this week was, with some of the ways that you're hearing to use diabetic medication to use weight loss, it actually causes muscle loss as well, which is something I didn't know. But with the type of weight loss that's promoted with our products, you don't lose muscle weight. And so I thought that was something that was really important, especially as women, because we know that we need to keep all the muscle we can, hearing about strength training and things like that to keep our bodies healthy in the long run. So that was something that is a huge benefit to utilizing this as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Liz, can I share a little bit about my weight loss? Because it's different. Okay, so for me personally, when I started Plexus, you really probably would not have thought that I needed to lose weight. I'm not a very big built person. However, I will tell you that my clothes were super uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable in my skin. And what makes my weight journey interesting is that I have gained weight, I have lost weight, I have gained weight. My bra size has increased, it has decreased because I have been through 2 pregnancies. Well, technically 1. I was postpartum, 1 year postpartum when I started products with my middle child, and then started products. I saw significant changes with how my clothing fit, even though the scale didn't budge drastically, inches around my hips, my midsection, kind of like that, the skin area around like your chest area. I saw big changes that way, even though the scale didn't directly have a huge number change. There was movement in the scale, but you could really see it with the inflammation in my face and how my clothing fit. And then through my pregnancy, which was almost 2 years ago now, I saw a normal weight gain, like a healthy weight gain. I shouldn't say normal, a healthy weight gain. But the entire time, even though I was gaining weight naturally with pregnancy, I never felt icky from the inside out and uncomfortable in my own skin. I looked at myself in the mirror and I could see my face, which was not the case with my first 2 pregnancies. And then even postpartum with my last, my third now, even though by the scale I was probably the heaviest I've been, 3 kids and all of the things, my clothing fits just as good as it did when I was 25 with my first pregnancy. But when you look at the pictures and you compare face to face and you look at the inflammation and all the things, there is a huge difference. So for me, weight loss has looked like inflammation and just feeling good from the inside out. So I love that there are people that have lost several pounds on the scale, but for some of us that, maybe don't have as much weight to lose, we still have a lot of things that are deeply impacting us, like the inflammation and just that uncomfortable feeling. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another thing about Plexus, and I'm not saying, hear me, okay? I'm not saying that Plexus is going to cure or treat your disease or any of the things, but there are a lot of people who, through balancing their gut, have gotten off some prescription medicines. And so if you're someone who's been able to wean yourself or with your doctor, working with your doctor, all of the things, get off a prescription, would you share a little about that journey with us? Rachel, you want to start?
Yes. So I mentioned before that I had colon cancer, and so I was on 6 years worth of chemo, and I developed all sorts of kind of lasting effects from that with my health, and I was on tons of prescriptions. I have this little thing beside my bed. I used to have these little things filled up. Every little slot was filled for every day of the week. So I had like 35 pills that I would fill it up with every single Sunday afternoon to get me through the week. And I now take just one prescription every day. And that's because of my hysterectomy. I have to continue taking the hormone replacements until I'm actual, like, typical menopausal age. But I was on medicine for like reflux and nausea and sleep and anxiety. And I can't even remember at this point. I had to have B12 shots every week. I had to take mega doses of vitamin D multiple times a week because my body was just deficient in all of the vitamins because I wasn't absorbing any of the nutrients from my foods. So when I was able to get on Plexus and heal my gut, my body could absorb the nutrients properly. So I didn't have to have all of the mega doses of the vitamins. And I did add in X Factor Plus at some point, which is what's helped me to stay off of B12. And I was told a pill-based supplement based on the area of your colon where it's absorbed, because that's where my tumor was. So they had to take out that portion of my colon. However, I get blood work every 3 months and I can stay completely within the normal range in my vitamin D and B12 specifically, just taking X Factor Plus. I do take some extra vitamin D, but it's not the prescription strength anymore. But it also has balanced out my digestion so that I'm not nauseous all the time and I don't have stomach aches all the time and I'm not having those reflux issues like I was having before. So that has been another thing I did not expect in the least, but has been my biggest answer to prayer through all of the things of Plexus, is being able to like actually heal my body from those cancer and chemo effects and not really need this little thing that I still put my one little pill in every single night just so that, I don't know, it's convenient, but to not need that anymore is just, I mean, it's huge. It's so impactful for me.
That is incredible. Like, these are real people. Like, this is real stuff, what healing your gut can do. Holly, do you want to share a little bit about us? If you don't have 5 children in your room.
They're not
Okay,
just
too. We
wiggling.
like
They're just wiggling the door handle. That's why I was like looking like, I hope y'all can hear me. Yes, I would love to talk about that. I could talk about this for a long time. This is like my passion. And at first it used to make me really uncomfortable because who likes to talk about mental health? But that is why I got on the products. I was really struggling and I had been told by a lot of people, like, this is just how it's going to be, because I was diagnosed bipolar and ADHD, and my birth mom was bipolar and schizophrenic. And so that really hit hard, like, and I knew how she had struggles with things. And so like I went through really, really hard times with that. And it was like, I'm not kidding, a struggle for 15 years of just trying different medications. And I was getting to the point, like, I literally prayed, I have to figure out something or I can't do this anymore. Like, I cannot go on anymore. And I know that that's not okay because I have kids. I'm really sorry, y'all. I love my kids so much and I pray for them. And I just wanted to be that mama. Y'all, I'm sorry. But I was on 8 different medications. For mood stabilizers, for depression, for anxiety, all these things that they said I was never going to be able to overcome. I did not think I was going to cry. I'm so sorry. But it means so much to me because I hear my little people and I get to be their mama and I get to have periods and not be crazy, have like roller coaster, like scared of my own self of how I'm going to be. Because my deepest desire, y'all, is going to sound crazy, is being a mom. Like, I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to stay home with them. I wanted to teach them. Like, I was so excited for that. And I thought, well, how am I going to make any money or survive like that? And here I am getting to do that because of Plexus, and I get to think normal and have real emotions and be present with my kids and not be on any medication. So I don't take 8 medications. I take Plexus and that's it. And I just started with triplex, like as a desperate mama saying, like, I don't know what else to do. Sure, I'll give it a shot, but I don't think it's going to work. Nothing has ever worked. And let me tell y'all, it was a ride. It was not easy. Like Casey had to deal with so much. Like I would call her almost every day and be like, I can't do this. This is not normal. Like, do I need to go to the ER? Like, but I also wasn't smart. And I cut off some of my medicine cold turkey because I was pregnant and I didn't feel right taking it in the first place. But they're like, it's okay, you know, it's safe, like as long as you're weaning yourself off. And so I was like, I just didn't feel right. So not smart me, just got straight off of it. So I would not necessarily suggest that, but I could definitely tell major difference just within like the first 2 weeks. So it didn't take me no time, but I didn't see like really big changes mental health wise, probably until about 3 months. That's when my moods and my hormones started leveling. So that's my little spill. I'm sorry, y'all had to see me cry.
Thank you so much for sharing, Holly. That's life changing. And that's what we mean when we say that about these products, like that they've changed our lives. That's clearly changed her life, right? And a lot of us would probably come to tears telling the story of how these products and how this opportunity has changed things for us. On that note, I wanted to ask if you're someone who shared Plexus before, if you've taken the products and shared them with other people and you've earned a paycheck with Plexus, what's that meant for your family? And kind of like, how'd you get started sharing? What was that process for you? Emily, do you want to start?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Can you hear me okay? Real quick, my husband and I both worked for nonprofit ministries, and we were really, really tight financially. I would go to yard sales or really dumpy thrift stores and I'd find things, I'd clean them up and I'd go and sell them on Marketplace. I remember somebody making fun of me for selling a shirt for $3, but it was like we needed every penny. And I wanted so badly, like Holly, to be a mom and to stay home with my daughters, but we just couldn't afford that. So I needed to have something. And I, after having 2 kids, felt really chubby. I would look in the mirror, not recognize myself. I was exhausted during the day, but I couldn't sleep at night, just really restless sleeping. And after 4 years of watching my friends sharing about the products and learning more about the products, how if I were to take it, I wouldn't have a third eye, and that they were natural and they really focused on the root issue rather than, you know, being a diet pill, which I originally and initially thought that it was. I knew that the products were good, and my friend ended up sending me some samples to try, and I really, really liked how I felt on them. But I think more than that, I believed, because I saw good friends of mine doing this and changing things for their family, more than losing weight, I really had this prompting on my soul that this was going to be the vessel to change everything for my family. And so I was really nervous. I really, really care about friendships and relationships. I really value authenticity. I never want people to feel like they're being sold to, but I knew that there was something here that I really believed was going to change everything. And so I started to share about Plexus, just the things that I was learning. I was sharing about my experience, about how I was able to walk past the donut table at work without having any desire to go and eat the donuts. I started to share about my mom, who was an insomniac and started to sleep through the night very, very deep. I started to share about all the things that I was experiencing, the things that I was learning about gut health and the connection to so many parts of our health. And people started to come to me out of the woodwork. And it was uncomfortable at first, kind of putting myself out there on social media, because that wasn't anything I'd ever done before. I was not somebody that used social media very often, but I trusted the process. And that's what I was told I needed to do. And so I did it really nervously, but I did it with a heart to help and serve other people and to educate. I wasn't out there to just like make money off of people. I was out there to help people, and in turn that would help my family. And so after about 18 months of doing that, we hit the very first like top level within our company, which is called Emerald. And we have quite a few women on our team who are Emerald here. And an Emerald ambassador at the time, it was about $7,000 to $10,000 annual or average monthly pay, $7,000 to $10,000 monthly, along with a Lexus stipend and a luxurious trip for two to Hawaii or Mexico. And so that happened about 18 months in. So that was a pretty nice shift, going from $500 a month and selling $3 t-shirts to randos in a parking lot with my children to now about $10,000 a month. And so with that, I was able to leave my job. And then about 18 months after that, I hit the very top of the company. Our team, not me, our entire team hit the top of the company as diamonds. And it's all of those amenities, but multiplied by a ton. And so that's been a huge gift for our family. My husband was able to leave his 9-to-5 nonprofit ministry job to pursue his heart's desire of writing. And he's just written a documentary that's coming out onto the movie theaters on November 30th. And he wouldn't have been able to do that. It's with Casting Crowns. He wouldn't have been able to do that had he had been at his previous job. He's working on books. We're able to be home with our girls. We're able to have that time and financial freedom to bless other people, but to really grow our family in a tight-knit way because we're home all together. So it's just been a huge blessing, health-wise, community-wise, personal growth-wise, and financially.
Thank you for sharing, Em. That's awesome. Other Em, you want to share with us?
Yes, I would love to. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back to the beginning of my story when I first started the products. So I had just stepped away from my full-time teaching job. I was at home with 2 little kids and was just needing energy. And so that's why I started the products. I didn't know anything about gut health. I had no idea the importance of gut health at all. I just knew that my friend was talking about all this energy she had, and I craved that. And so that's why I started. But once I started the products, my friend Brianna just mentioned that there's a possibility of getting your products paid for by adding 3 people underneath me. And when she said that, I put up a wall because I had heard this before. I've heard, you can make all this money through network marketing. I had tried a couple other network marketing companies before and had terrible experiences with them. And so I just ignored Brianna's message and just continued on my products, and I was happy with that. But once I started noticing my energy increasing, I wasn't getting migraines like I used to get, like once a week I would get a migraine. My digestive system was so much better. I knew that it would be selfish to keep it to myself. And so I honestly just started sharing with my friends and family that I knew could also benefit from the products. So my mom's on this call. She was my first customer, and she's always been supportive. She is, just my #1 fan. And so she got started with me right away. And then I added my husband because I knew that he could also benefit from the products. And then just one more friend that I was chatting with, and she came on board. And that month that I added those 3 people, I made $350. And so that paid for 2 months of my products. And so I was like, man, this is kind of nice. I added 3 people and now I have 2 months of my products covered. And so I just continued to kind of share. I posted about my wins. I shared just about the products. I just educated people. And the next month, so I started sharing in October when I added those 3 people. In November, I added 9 more people just by sharing my wins, and had made about $1,200 just through going fast start. Senior silver is what we call it. And so you get a bonus for that. And so that paid for my family's entire Christmas. I was able to splurge a little bit more on my kids' Christmas gifts. And it was just so fun to have that extra wiggle room. I wasn't teaching anymore, so I didn't have like a full-time income. And so that was a huge blessing for my family. And since then, it's only gone up. I've just continued to help my friends and family, and it's more about just seeing and hearing their wins. That is such a blessing for me. But it has changed so much for my family. I just got back with my husband from Leaders Retreat. We went on a Caribbean cruise, and everyone is right that talks about how Plexus goes all out for trips. I didn't even want the trip really, because I just had a baby. We had a 3-month-old when I left. But I knew that it was super important for my husband and I to get away. And so just by working my business and doing what I normally do, I was able to earn that trip. And now I have another trip to look forward to. I earned one for February. So it's just been a huge blessing in so many ways.
I love that so much, and just so genuine, like just being you and sharing the products. Because as you listen to all these stories tonight and you hear all this stuff, like, how can you not want to tell people about that, right? Like, so awesome. Michaela, are you still on? Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit about sharing?
Yes, I can. Hold on. Let me turn the baby monitor off because she could start screaming. It's fine. So for me, I feel like a lot of people are more like Emily, second Emily, as far as like they start the products, they're loving them, they decide that they want to share them, or like maybe these could benefit other people, so they share them with a few people, and then they're like, oh wait, I can make some money doing this. Like that is the normal, I would say, in this company, and I'm not that person. I was taking the products and I did love them, but I did not love them and decide to start sharing them. I saw my friend Kira posting about paying off her student loan debt, and like through working her Plexus business. And she's a physical therapist. I'm a physical therapist. Actually, neither of us really work physical therapy anymore. She doesn't at all. I barely do. But I was like, so if she can do this, I can probably do this. And I need to pay off debt like she's paying off debt. So I literally just messaged her and I was like, how do you do it? Like, how are you doing this thing? Because I should probably do that. And then she was like, well, you need to like pick some products and then we can start sharing with people. And I picked some products. I was like, yeah, I could maybe lose a little weight. I already loved the pink drink. So it was just like, the products were not even like the thing that I started with. I just needed to start taking the products to then share the products. And then I just started doing things. Like I was coachable. I did whatever Kara told me. I didn't think about it. I still don't worry about what people think about me, because if they think I'm weird, just don't be my customer. It's fine. I'll go find somebody else. Like it's never, I know that that's a concern for people, but it's not ever been my thing. And like, you've already heard from other people who have been successful at this, and they're talking about sharing the products and trips that they're going. I've gone on trips too. And like anyone can do it if you're coachable and you'll just like do the things that you're told to do. Because the person who invited you here or the person that you'd be working with, like they're doing the things too. This is not like a, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do so you can make me money kind of thing. We're all in this together. We're all helping each other. And yes, Kara just put how much student loan debt she's paid off. I'm still working on mine. I had a baby and I quit working, and I did not do the fast track route like she did. I did the let's go have some fun route. But yeah, that's kind of how I just got started. Like I still love the products, obviously, but I said, there's money to be made here. How do I make it? Sign me up.
I love that, Michaela. And you do it with heart and you do it with integrity, and I love it. Okay, I promise we'll wrap this up in like a couple minutes. Brianna, do you want to share a little bit about your journey with Plexus and sharing and all the things?
Yeah. Okay. So I started almost 2 years ago on the products. My mom and sister had been taking them And so I knew a little bit about them, but I knew that I was dealing with something in my gut. I just was waking up not feeling very good. And so I decided to just go for it. I started on the triplex and within weeks felt better digestively. And then, had all these other wins with my energy and things that I didn't really realize was connected to the gut. And actually from the first day I got my products, which was it was like December 28th or something like that, or January 2nd or something, 2 years ago, I just shared that I was doing this new gut thing. I found the post the other day, it came up on my memories, and it was just a boomerang of me opening my box of the triplex. And so I was always the type of person, I didn't post a lot on my social media, but I was always sharing recipe ideas, or I was sharing workout ideas. I was already kind of sharing some things that I loved. I was asking for recommendations of natural health products. I was always just kind of in this realm of sharing what I was doing and wanting recommendations. And so for me, it was just very natural, something I did. And, I didn't really have a whole lot of people reaching out to me and being oh, what is this? But I was just sharing and sharing me making my pink drink, talking about how good it tasted. And then I did start to have people asking me about it. And so for me, it was I did not come into this thinking I was going to do this, network marketing thing. But realizing that they were helping me in a way that I thought I was healthy, in so many other ways, but realizing how much I was making an impact on people that I truly cared about. Like my mom getting off of her medication, Emily Sedvik, who shared, she's now staying home with her babies and she's taking her husband on trips, and just all of these different things that, because I decided to share this little gut health thing, I have been able to help people. And so, yeah, I think Michaela said it, I don't really even remember what I did, to be honest, because I remember Lacey or somebody was just telling me yeah, try to share this, or you should try this. And I just did it. So yeah, I would encourage you to just give it a try this little gut thing and share your wins. So.
Awesome. Okay. I think this call was awesome. I hope that you are leaving feeling inspired. If you're wondering what in the world this triplex thing is that everyone talked about, ask the person who invited you here, because it's awesome. It works. Clearly it works. And if someone hadn't shared these products with us, we wouldn't have had all of these health changes that you got to hear about tonight, or all of the financial changes that you got to hear about. So hear our hearts. We are here to help people. We love people and love these products for obvious reasons. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Please ask whoever invited you here more questions, because we want to help you. And Black Friday deals are awesome. We'll just say that. So get ready. All right. Oh, and look at Brianna's cute puppy. All these cute puppies and babies. I can't handle it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking it out. Have a good night. And the trips are the best. Yeah, we were going to talk about that, but it's late.